What does it mean to be low vibrational? Or of lower spirits, if you will. Now, people say good vibes, good energy. But it's hard to do those things when you have low vibrations or low spirits. And I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to talk about, you know, low vibrational. The tactics that are attached to low vibrations is gossip, slander. A lot of times, the evil of a person's heart will come out of their mouth. The Bible lets us know, in the abundance of the heart, the mouth shall speak. So, I find myself in places where I've had situations where I caught myself saying something, and it's just like, yeah, that may be what happened, but did you have to say that? Was that not low vibrational? So yeah, we can kick it into that. When you're operating out of a low vibration, most times you're not happy. You can't be happy for anybody else, or you have selective people that you're happy for. But a person who's operating out of high vibrations, they're happy for everybody. You know, and no, you're not going to be happy all the time, but you're going to be happy at times, or at least most of the times. What you have to do to protect your energy and protect your spirit is, when you know that you have low vibrations around you, you have to know how to subtract yourself at times so you can feed your spirit, so you can build your energy back up. Because if you don't do that, you will let low vibrational people bring you down, and then you'll be upset at whatever is going on, instead of operating out of a higher frequency. So when you operate out of a higher frequency, you don't let nothing around you bring you down. Even when anything or anybody or your situation, sometimes if you think too heavy about it, it may bring you down. So it's okay to get out your own head. How do you get out your own head? You got to have people you can talk to. You got to have outlets. You got to have people or things that are constructive to healthy living that can help you vibe at a higher frequency. Because if you succumb to lower things that's of lower vibrations, then after that, you will just operate out of lower vibrations. You're giving your energy to something that you want to help you, but it's really hindering you. And that's a portion of how you try to keep your vibrations high. Or if you have anybody that's always trying to bring you down or have something that's negative to say about you or to you, they're operating out of low vibrations. So what you have to do is you have to spend enough time with yourself and with God, or I should say with God and in His Word or worship, or for those who are not believers of Christ that have their own belief. Whatever you do, you have to be able to be in a place of feeding yourself something that's going to help you versus hinder you. So when whoever or whatever is trying to make you feel less than, or bring you down to that low vibration, you will know how to react. One thing I've been talking about lately is self-care, self-love. See, when you having love for self, when those outside sources come against you, you are centered within inside of you. You're centered within inside of yourself to the point to where nothing on the outside can bring you to an ugly place. See, when you're not centered within and I'm not saying you're not going to slip. I'm not saying that it's not going to be times where you fail at doing this. But the whole name of the game is to practice it, so the more that you do it, it doesn't happen. So when you're operating at a higher frequency, a lot of times you might have a friend or a family member or whoever, a spouse, that's operating out of a low frequency. And they're not going to like you vibing high. And they're not going to like the spirit that you're in of exuding excellence with a bright smile and bright thinking and bright being. So the number one thing it's going to do is attach itself to you and try to pull you down. No matter what it is, how it is, it could be starting arguments. It could be like finding petty things to complain about. You just got to know how to be centered within yourself and find humility. You have to find humility, because if you find humility, when these times come, you can humble yourself and be like, cool, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to argue with you. Cool. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Cool. And by the time that happens, no matter what the other person does, you're centered within you. If you're centered, I'm a believer. So if you're centered in God, you're centered in you in some form or fashion. So therefore, when you have anything or anyone, or even your own self, because sometimes in ourselves, as I just said, if we get to thinking about our situation too heavy and not really thinking about how we can really, or if we can be so caught up in how we feel about our situation at times, if we're overthinking, that it can put us in a negative space. And then we're operating out of low vibrations, low frequencies. Once you're operating out of low frequencies, now you're open to anything that can drag you to that space. People talk about manifestation. That's another thing. You cannot manifest anything if you're operating negatively. A lot of people get it twisted when it comes to manifestation. Just because certain things work out for you, that don't mean everything is manifesting correctly. Having money, let me tell you something. Getting money isn't always attached to God. Satan got a bag too. Just to give you something to think about. Satan got a bag too. Satan will pay you too. He did it to Jesus. He took him to the uttermost top of the mountain and said, I'll give you all of this if you bow down before me. Satan got a bag too. So you can't link just manifestation to money. Sometimes you got to want to manifest a brighter mindset. Sometimes you got to want to manifest a forgiving heart. I got to forgive this. I got to forgive that. Sometimes you got to manifest things that are outside of just money and, all the extra stuff. Because I like what Solomon did. Solomon asked God for wisdom. That wisdom gave him something more than what the riches of the world can buy. Vibe high. Boom Chronicles coming soon. The book. I feel like spiritually God keep telling me don't talk about it too much. I'm getting it all in order. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm getting these chapters done, man. Let's go.